Given the topic for today's video, I'm going to make absolute certain that I remain positive for the entirety of this video. Dude, come on, you can't go 1 minute without mentioning how Rockstar games are mediocre. Ludo! Welcome to LudoLingo. It means game talk, by the way. This guy's not going to tell you that, so. A weekly series where I take contributions from the community in terms of topics related to gaming. In the case of the first topic, we're actually starting off on a positive note, which probably seems crazy if you know me. Why do I love video games so much? What is it about them that I love? Reason number one. Red Dead 2 is not enjoyable because of the overemphasis on the animations. What did I say? What did I say? Damn it! I like snappy and quick controls. I need a game that feels like there's a one-to-one connection between me and the controller and whatever output is on screen. I guess that makes it more like a one-to-one-to-one connection, if that's not really a saying, but I'm making it up right now. Me, my input on the controller, the output on the screen, one-to-one-to-one. I can usually tell within like a minute of playing a game, honestly, whether or not I'm going to enjoy it overall. It's become that obvious to me, and also that important to me, that it's something that I pick up on pretty much immediately. For example, you have someone like Housemarque, the developer that has most recently put out Returnal. They are just masters of making it feel awesome to move a character around. As seen in Returnal, but not just that, you've also got like Resogun or Super Stardust, Ex Machina. These are all from like completely different angles, but they all give something. They all give a similar feeling of feeling really in tune with your connection between what you're trying to do and what the character on screen is doing. And this is where I feel like I end up spinning my tires when I'm trying to explain this to people, because it's not really something you can explain with words. And honestly, it's not even something you can explain with video. Even if I'm showing you video of what I mean, it doesn't mean anything to somebody who's watching it. You can make assumptions, but it's not always going to be true. It's very hard to convey the feeling that I'm talking about right now unless I literally take the controller, give it to you, and then, even then, you're not necessarily going to know what I'm talking about, because this could also possibly be something that differs from person to person.
Excuse me. Wasn't the topic supposed to be why you like video games and not what it is you like about them?
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing. Let me tell you. I didn't realize that until I was done writing the entire video. So I'll get there eventually. Probably. Okay, maybe. All right. Yes, I will. Okay. Anyways, lack of such precise control is actually what leads me to not enjoying a lot of games that seem to be very much so enjoyed by the wider gaming community. We've got Grand Theft Auto, The Witcher, Red Dead 2, Super Metroid, Wo Long, Dragon's Dogma, Nier Automata. There's plenty of others, but that's just a few examples. They don't work for me. I don't feel the one-to-one-to-one connection that I mentioned before, that I totally failed to properly explain. In some cases, like Shadow of the Colossus, I would actually go as far as to describe the way that they feel as laggy. Seriously? Come on. Are you serious? You just mentioned them again. Twice! Control yourself. Positive. What is this? I'm not wearing a tie. Okay. On the other hand, there are games like Elden Ring, Call of Duty, Super Smash Bros., Doom 2016, Mario Kart, Neon White, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Lies of P, Armored Core 6, Hades, Guacamelee, Hollow Knight, God of War, Final Fantasy 16, Ghost Runner, Metal Gear Solid 5, Titanfall 2, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario World or Super Mario Wonder, and the list goes on and on. This even applies to games that rely on more menu-based inputs. It's not just action games or action-oriented games, like Slay the Spire or Balatro. Even games of that style can be snappy and responsive, and they are, and I love that. After booting up these games, I'm pretty much immediately in tune with the controls. There is no weird floatiness, and there isn't like a lack of precise control. All right, listen, I'm not going to claim to be a 2D Mario mega fan here, but I am aware of a key difference between some of the games. The new Super Mario Bros. Games feel floaty, and there is a lack of precise control. This is not even just me saying this. I feel like this is a pretty common sentiment amongst people that have been playing Mario games over the years. New Super Mario Bros. Games are not as good as Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. 3, and even now Super Mario Bros. Wonder. They kind of brought it back. It feels good again. There's more precision. It's a little heavier. You're not just like floating so much around the screen. At least with this series, I feel like it's pretty easy to distinguish the difference between them. And this is kind of what I feel when I'm playing something like The Witcher. It feels floatier than playing something like Elden Ring. Elden Ring just feels better. I don't know how else to explain this. So basically what I'm trying to say is you have the new Super Mario Bros. Likes and the Super Mario World likes. Does that make it make sense? Are you with, you got this? We're good? No? Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to get anywhere on this. Game feel is probably the #1 contributor when it comes to things that make me want to continue to play a game. It's not the only thing. There's plenty of other things that tickle my fancy. But it is #1. You know what else I love? I love it when video games don't waste my time. But that's what you're doing to these poor souls right now. In particular, open world games tend to be the biggest perpetrators of this. Meaningless fetched quests galore.
Marvelous. I'd go myself, but I don't want to. I only need a few booba tubers.
Also, why don't we just add in some stealth missions?
Huh? What was that? What dumbass can't put their shit away?
Out of nowhere that have nothing to do with anything else, even though the game's not designed around. Not only that, but games tend to consistently take control away from you to play out animations that really had no business being as long as they are. I remember playing BioShock for the first time and being so happy that when you picked up an audio log, it would just automatically play and continue to play as you just got to explore the environment. Those games would feel so much more tedious if every time you picked something up, you had to stand there and listen to the entire thing be played. But no, you get to actually just continue walking around. It doesn't waste your time. What does this have to do with loving video games, you say? Well, I just love being in full control of a character, and I love being able to experiment with game mechanics and systems that the developers put in place. Devs that intentionally leave aspects of the game open to interpretation of the player are wonderful. I love when games, either entirely or partially, fit the mantra of, I think I could do this. Can I do this? And then you kind of just test something out and see if it works. When you get to plan something out in your head and then test it out in the game, even though the developer has not explicitly told you that you're allowed to do that, that's some good stuff. Baldur's Gate 3 and the 2 most recent big Zelda titles pull this off masterfully. You're given plenty of tools, and then you're kind of just allowed to try to implement them in whatever way you see fit. Game mechanics like Fuse or Ascend from Tears of the Kingdom elevate video games far, far, far above every other entertainment medium for me. They allow for player expression. You feel like you're coming up with your own solution sometimes. When you complete an objective in these games that you feel like was probably not the intended way, it's a fantastic feeling. Speaking of Zelda, I'm a sucker for the thrill of discovery. Also, I just love exploring things. I feel like I have some sort of eye for really good level design. I love finding new areas to explore, getting new abilities, trying them out in different areas, either in new areas or places you've previously been. Metroidvanias and roguelikes tend to shine in this regard. You got Hollow Knight, you got Dead Cells, Guacamelee, Rogue Legacy, you've got Blasphemous 2 specifically. I actually haven't played 1, I want to though. Occasionally an open world gives me this feeling, but that's kind of rare. Again, I'm talking about like Elden Ring and the 2 most recent Zelda games. The formula that a lot of other open worlds use really just doesn't do it for me. Now, on to stories and discussion. This is the part where you talk about Red Dead 2, isn't it? I will not take the bait. When I say stories, I'm not referring to what you would typically assume. Don't get me wrong, there are exceptions to what I'm about to say. You've got The Last of Us, Persona 4 Golden, and the rest of the Persona series, Metal Gear Solid series, you've got Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2. These are a few of the titles that have broken the barrier for me in terms of storytelling. I was very interested in either the overall story or the well-written characters, to the point where that stuff actually was either equally or in some cases more important to me than playing the game, which is very uncommon for me. In most cases, this is not true whatsoever. I am way more concerned about how a game plays than what the plot is. Also, a game having a great cast of characters is generally significantly more important to me than whatever it is that they're doing. So what was I talking about then when I said stories and discussion? How could it not mean the story of a game? I meant the experiences that you share with others, either while you're playing through a game or after your journey through it. This usually applies to games that are a little more open-ended, but it totally applies to games that are more linear too. And you know what? Dark Souls is the perfect example. Wow, you managed to get Dark Souls in there. It's only, I mean, you somehow lasted 10 minutes. I'll give you that. It's long been my favorite franchise, and it always excites me when I learn someone has played any of them. Talking about how they tackled certain challenges, what their favorite areas are, gameplay styles, and most importantly, the specific order in which specific scenarios played out in their playthrough only. That's the good stuff. I genuinely don't care about the lore in these games at all. It's never interested me. To me, the best part is each individual's own lore. The things that happen to them on their journey. How does it compare to my experiences? These are the things that can be applied to any game. Sure, they're amplified in games like Elden Ring though. The amount of ways people can experience the game are vast, and I love discussing it. I think I've mostly narrowed my thoughts down. Game feel, lack of bloat, the thrill of discovery, player expression and control, and the extent to which the game allows for discussion are the pillars of why I enjoy them so much. Hey, it's me from the future! I'm totally done editing this video, and I'm just realizing that I did not mention a sense of challenge or a good balance of risk versus reward, even though those are probably the second and third most important things to me after game feel. So, you don't get any explanation as to why I feel that way. I'm just telling you because I forgot to mention it, because I'm stupid. Also, the video is already twice as long as I wanted it to be. So, that's all you get. Thanks. It's probably why I enjoy so many different genres. These things aren't necessarily specific to any certain type of game. Don't get me wrong, I'm also super into game soundtrack. Shout out to all the music in this video being from Nobody Saves the World. Another fantastic game, go play it. And I love audio design and stuff like that. I can also get deeply invested in certain narratives. They're just a little lower on the list. Graphical fidelity is mostly irrelevant in this discussion, and I really hope that we continue to see the decrease in focus in this department. I suppose in the end, all of these reasons are also the answer to why I love video games so much. They're fun, engaging, and a joy to talk to others about when they're done right. They're a combination of all other forms of entertainment, and they're capable, in some cases, of surpassing other mediums in their own field. Plus, they have the key, the one thing that allows them to ascend past all others. Interactivity. So what's not to love? This episode's probably a little more on the serious end of the way the series is going to go overall. I just wanted to genuinely state my thoughts on this matter because it seems to come up a lot. Should I go in a more silly direction? Or serious? Let me know what you think. I appreciate any feedback. Feel free to critique my editing if you'd like as well. I'm always trying to improve. I'm also interested in editing videos for others. If you like my style, reach out. If you want to vote on future topics, I'll likely be posting a poll on YouTube that you can vote on, in addition to on my Discord in the announcement section. I'm going to link that down below. And feel free to go follow me at dguns on Twitch Also, check out my account on Backlogged if you want to see me review every game that I've ever played. Some of the older games are very low effort in terms of the reviews, but over the past couple of years, I've put up actually thoughtful reviews that I've spent many, many minutes writing. Special thanks to those who continue to support me on Patreon. Support, not sport. You can also support me on Patreon. You help motivate me to continue doing what I do. So thank you. Greatly. The Mex Factor, Kinoth, Scion, and Hookie, salute. Hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. See you next time.